Wake up,
East Texas,
the news is here.
your hometown,
Your stories,
every day.
the 936
Independent,
Local.
essential.
Good morning, Deep East Texas. I'm Greg Weatherby, and this is the 936 Morning Brief, where we're going to take a quick look at some stories, some weather, some sports across the Deep East Texas area, and see what we can find that maybe interests you. Thanks for joining us and starting your morning with us, and thanks for staying informed. The 936 Morning Brief is brought to you by Commercial Bank of Texas. Commercial Bank of Texas, local banking, local decisions, and a long-time commitment to the communities of East Texas, and they've been doing it for 125 years. Let's start off by talking a little bit about the Living Well Expo that's coming up. This is a little less than a month away now from the 936 Living Well Expo for 2026. And the list of businesses joining us continues to grow. The Living Well Expo is coming Tuesday, September 5th from 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. at the Pitzer Garrison Convention Center in Lufkin, bringing together businesses, organizations representing health, wellness, home, finance, food, fitness, travel, community services, and more. And remember, the admission is free to the public. Just don't ask for a discount, as my grandfather used to say. This morning, we'd like to recognize several more businesses that have signed up to help make this event a success. Gibson Funeral Home and Lufkin Jewelry on the Square will be signing up as vendors. CHI St. Luke's Memorial Lufkin and the Heart Institute of East Texas are supporting sponsors, and Buck's Cup of Joe has signed on as our coffee sponsor. And we thank these fine businesses for their kind support, and we hope you'll come out and support them on September 15th. And as these organizations are helping make Living Well Expo possible. Again, the event's free to the public, and so make plans to join us on September 15th from 10 till 3 at Pitzer Garrison Convention Center. All right, as I stumble through that, let's take a look at some local headlines. Headlines are brought to you by Lufkin Jewelry on the Square, your hometown jeweler in the heart of downtown Lufkin. Go see Bobby and Sean and all the good people over there. Tell them the 936 sent you. We begin this morning with our look at the newly released school accountability ratings. The 936 has examined 15 area school systems, and what we found is that the district grades don't always tell the whole story. Several East Texas districts improved in 2026. The T ratings, but when improved in their T ratings, but when you dig into the individual campus numbers, there are some significant differences, including improvements and some schools that had sharp declines at others. Rather than simply publishing a list of the letter grades, we broke that down the numbers and are giving parents and taxpayers a clearer picture of what's happening inside our area school systems. You can read our full analysis right here on the 936, right on the 936.com. Also this morning, the Lufkin City Council has taken another step towards city property tax process. There's an important distinction in the story. The city council did not approve a final tax rate last night. Instead, the council members set the stage for the rate to be discussed at a public meeting here, or a public hearing, in September. I think that September the 1st. The council also took action on 2 zoning requests, including a proposed rezoning of property on Sunrise Avenue for placement of a manufactured home. We have the full story from last night's meeting on the 936.com. And in openings and meetings and closings, opens and closing, familiar Lufkin Jewelry, I'm looking at my sponsor. Lufkin Healthcare business has moved and changed its name. GoMed Mobile is now Naranjo Family Medicine. Husband and wife duo Jennings Naranjo and Morgan Naranjo, both family nurse practitioners, have taken their practice into the next chapter under the new name. The business celebrated the opening of its new location with the ribbon cutting yesterday morning. Congratulations to Jennings, Morgan, and everyone at the Naranjo Family Medicine on the move and the new name. It was a good visit. Glad to be out there. You can find these stories and more throughout the day on the 936.com. And now let's take a look at the weather. And folks, it's not a pretty story. The weather for the 936 Morning Brief is sponsored by Abelt's Gaslight Pharmacy, locally owned, locally operated, and here to take care of your family's pharmacy needs. So the heat remains our big weather story. The National Weather Service has extended a heat advisory through 8 p.m. Thursday with heat index values capable of reaching around 110 degrees for today. Look for mostly sunny skies with the high near 100 degrees and a low tonight of around 75. The heat index could climb as high as 106 this afternoon. Thursday gets even hotter with the high around 102, with the low near 77 and a heat index of almost 111. Friday stays hot with the high around 103, followed by 104 on Saturday, and another high of around 104 on Sunday. So it's going to be a hot weekend. So there's no real relief in sight headed into the weekend. Drink plenty of water, limit strenuous activity during the hottest part of the day, and check on relatives and neighbors who may be especially vulnerable to the heat. And if you have outdoor pets, make sure they have access to shade and plenty of water. All right, let's talk about some fun stuff for a change. Now, let's talk about some sports. Sports are brought to you by Carpets by Curiosity, helping East Texas find the right flooring for every room and every style. College football is almost here, folks, and several Texas programs are entering the season with plenty of national attention. We'll start with the Texas Longhorns, who are ranked number 5 in the preseason AP Top 25 poll. Texas leads the country with 4 players named in the preseason AP All-First Team: Trevor Gooseby, Cam Coleman, Rasheem Biles, and Colin Simmons. Quarterback Arch Manning is back to lead the offense in the Texas opens its season against Texas State on September 25th. That's a 2 p.m. kickoff in Austin. Yikes, that's going to be a hot one. Texas A&M also begins their season this year with high expectations. The Aggies are ranked number 8 in the preseason AP poll, making them the second highest ranked team in Texas this year. In Waco, Baylor has a new quarterback in DJ Lagway, the junior transfer from Florida. Lagway has thrown for more than 4,100 yards and 28 touchdowns during his college career, and is already on the preseason Maxwell Award watch list. Baylor opens their season September 5th against Auburn in Atlanta with the kickoff set for 2:30 p.m. on ABC, but that'll be indoors, so the heat won't be a problem. SMU, Kevin Jennings returns after throwing 3,641 yards and 26 touchdowns last season. The Mustangs are ranked number 19 in the preseason poll and opens the season September 7th against Florida State. That'll be at Florida State. That game kicks off at 6:30 p.m. on ESPN, and TCU gets an early start to the season and a long road trip. The Horned Frogs open August 29th, which is just a little over a week away, against North Carolina in Dublin, Ireland, as part of the Arlingus College Football Classic. Kickoff is scheduled for 11 a.m. Central Time on ESPN. It will be the first time TCU has played a football game outside the United States. And closer to home, Stephen F. Austin enters the 2026 season with some serious expectations of its own. The Lumberjacks are ranked number 13 nationally in the FCS after winning the Southland Conference and finishing the 2025 with 11 victories, their highest total since 1995. Head coach Colby Carthel enters his 8th season with the roster that includes quarterback Gavin Rutherford, wide receiver Clayton Whalen, and kicker Carlos Alvarado, all of whom have received preseason FCS All-American recognition. SFA opens the season Saturday, August 29th at McNeese State with kickoff set for 6 p.m. The Lumberjacks return home to Homer Bryce Stadium for their home opener September 5th against East Texas A&M. College football's closed, folks, and we have plenty more as we move forward towards kickoff, and nobody's happier about college football starting than I am. So that'll do it for Wednesday, the Wednesday edition of the 936 Morning Brief. Remember, you can find these stories and much, much more throughout the day at the936.com, and follow the 936 Facebook for breaking news updates from across deep East Texas. Thanks for joining us this morning. I'm Greg Weatherby. Have a great Wednesday, East Texas, and start your morning informed with the 936. And be careful out there. The heat is going to be dreadful. Be safe. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.